What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 10 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today, we are trying out a new team. This is Rajan Bal's team that made it all the way to the top 8 in the Battle Frontier Series 10 tour from earlier this month. I really wanted to try out this team for a couple of reasons. One is because of Groudon. I feel like Groudon is in a very interesting place in the meta. It doesn't really do well into a lot of things and obviously has to be afraid of Kyogre, but it's still a very popular threat and very powerful nonetheless. So being able to set it up correctly, I think, is going to be super important. But really the main reason is this Drifblim, right? Drifblim, hardly ever seen anymore, and I think it actually is really great tech. That alongside Rillaboom, you do get the Grassy Seed boost, which triggers Unburden, and then you have access to things like very fast Tailwinds. You also do have Will-O-Wisp and Hypnosis to set up your appropriate sort of speed control. So there really is a lot of speed control on this team. We also do have Regieleki, which can help with things like Electroweb to really kind of set up for this Groudon to push forward in the end game. For support, obviously, like we said, we do have Rillaboom. One thing of note is it does have Woodhammer, as opposed to a lot of standard sets seem to have Knockout or Knockoff, which I think makes a lot of sense, right? You are worried about Kyogre, and having the ability really to get off a Woodhammer, even in the face of Serena, is important. Nihilego is another choice we haven't really used too much in Series 10, and hoping to fix that soon. This is the Power Herb variant, which can get a very powerful Meteor Beam off, and then, ride some Power Gem damage, as well as Sludge Bomb for really great coverage. And then finally, Incineroar, which is pretty standard. So we've included the code on the screen. We'll make sure to include it in the description, as well as a link to Rajan's channel or his social media. And with that, let's just kind of hop right into the first game. All right, battle number 1, and it is a Zacian team. It is Incineroar with Urshifu Water, Regieleki, Tornadus, Landorus, and Zacian. So I really do like Drifblim, as well as as well as Rillaboom being able to threaten into Regieleki, as well as Landorus and Urshifu, most likely Water. We do have to worry a little bit about Incineroar, but not too much of an issue. So I'm fine doing these two as a lead. Yeah, let's do that as a lead. Definitely want Groudon in the back, and then Regieleki doesn't really do that much. That's something else can't do better. Incin does have Intimidate support, which really, I mean, it's okay. I'm just wondering if maybe Nihilego would be better. Let's just do this, right? We do have access to Woodhammer. We do have access to Tailwind. I think if my opponent doesn't lead Tailwind, we end up being in a very good spot. We also are going to be immediately able to buff the stats of Drifblim, and it does have very high defense, so hopefully that can help. It does resist Zacian's attacks, so we are in a good spot there. As we will see, okay, so we are going to see Double Genie here, which this is tricky. How do we want to approach this? We can double up into... This is Assault Vest. Let's do this, because if we can put it to sleep... Okay, so that's fine. I care far more about getting a Fake Out onto that, and then... Because now what? We can both try and set up Tailwind. The question, though, is with the speed boost... No, because we... Yeah, let's go for a Tailwind here and go for a Woodhammer onto you, because that'll punish quite a bit of things. We will see the Tailwind come up, which means no taunt. They will connect with the Rock Slide first. We luckily do avoid with Drifblim, which is really huge, because that guarantees that we get up our Tailwind, and then assuming we don't flinch, we should be able to KO with a Woodhammer. As, yep, we do hit the Woodhammer. So this is huge, right? We will... we don't KO, but it's within range. And especially given the fact that we have access to Landorus... I mean, not Landorus. given the fact that we have access to Groudon, I'm not super worried about seeing a potential Hurricane. It's most likely going to be Air Slash. We will see the switch out here. I think that obviously does make a lot of sense. Into Zacian, perfectly fine with me. We will hopefully get some good damage and most likely see an Air Slash come out from, what is it called? From Thundurus on, or Eternatus onto Rillaboom as, wow, interesting. Oh, I was going to say, we are faster just due, obviously, to the Unburden. Air Slash will come out. They do miss again, which I think is definitely a little bit unfortunate, but I don't think it really matters too much in the end, or like in the end. We now have a safe Will-O-Wisp, as well as we can bring out Incin pretty freely here because their Landorus is so low. We know that they're not really doing too much with this Tornadus, and so we should overall be in a good position to really kind of cripple this Zacian, especially if we get it back to neutral and get a burn on it. We do unfortunately miss the Will-O-Wisp, but given our entire luck so far, I don't really feel too bad about it, as we will take a Behemoth Blade, doing a little bit more than I would have liked, mainly as a result of missing the missing the Will-O-Wisp. But at this point, what we do expect a switch out. I still do want to pressure with the Will-O-Wisp, just because I think whatever is going to come in shouldn't like it unless it's an Incineroar, and then we can actually no. We're gonna double up here. No, this will KO. Let's double up the Torn slot because I want to punish the switch out on Zacian. We do, okay, because I was going to say we can try and make it so they don't get speed control. We will see Urshifu Water come out. So we will be able to get a good amount of damage, as we do see, luckily, the Protect come out there. So overall, I think this is still really good for us, because we know that Rillaboom can deal with, Rillaboom deals with their Zacian very effectively. I mean, not their Zacian, their Urshifu Water. So figuring out how to really beat Urshifu is going to be the big deal. And what we can do is we can Will-O-Wisp onto... We Will-O-Wisp onto their Zacian. And yeah, we do this, and then we swap out into Groudon to try and set up the Sun and really, hopefully, significantly reduce the amount of damage that we're going to see from this Urshifu. We did see no Protect come out from, or we did see a Protect from Zacian last turn, which suggests to me that they're not going to go for it this turn. So we will see an Aqua Jet, but hopefully, yeah, with the Sun in a great position. We do luckily connect with Will-O-Wisp this time, so that really should help us deal with the Zacian, as now we can set up a Tailwind and have a pretty safe Behemoth Blade, right? I mean, not Behemoth Blade, Precipice Blade, as we don't even lose Drifblim. So this is good for us, because now we threaten with a Tailwind before they're able to attack. We also do pressure Will-O-Wisp onto the Urshifu slot. Let's Will-O-Wisp onto Urshifu, as well as set up a substitute. I do expect to see some kind of switch, and I really want to punish that. As, yep, we are going to see a Protect. That's totally fine with me. I'm hoping that Zacian attacks into... Zacian's probably going to attack into Drifblim, as we will see the Behemoth Blade come out. If it picks up the KO, that's actually really fine. Yeah, because we will lose Drifblim, but now we have not Zacian. We do have Groudon behind the substitute, and that really should put us in a very advantageous position, as we can now freely bring out we bring out Rillaboom, because we just saw the Protect from Urshifu. So we bring out not Zacian. We bring out the Incin to go for the Fake Out, go for the Precipice Blade to try and pick up a knockout. We can go for a Heat Crash. Let's go for a Heat Crash. There's really not a reason not to. So we can put the Fake Out pressure here, as well as a Heat Crash onto Zacian. Because Zacian at this point doesn't have, or there's nothing that wants to take this. And Zacian probably is going to feel pressured to switch out. So if we can pick up Thunder, or not Thunders, Tornadus, that's ideal. That's interesting. We do see Lando come out here, which overall is fine for me. Because we do, pick up that knockout. We will probably see a Sacred Sword come out. We actually just see a Behemoth Blade, right? So Behemoth Blade just straight into Groudon, which is totally fine with me because of the fact that this, I don't even know if it'll break at this point. Oh, okay, so it does break. A little bit unfortunate because that is like, I think, a -1 Zacian with a burn. So, oh no, it didn't break. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So we do manage to luckily pick up a KO here. We do have to just be a little bit weary of the weather, but we have the advantage that Urshifu can only single target. So if we double up into Tornadus, do we double up into Tornadus? I want to double up into Tornadus. I'm going to Flare Blitz into Tornadus. There is still 2 turns of Sun. I'm going to go for a Heat Crash. Yeah, I want to double up into Torn, like I said. I think it is a little risky. The Rain Dance is fine because... Rain Dance is actually not fine. Because we went for 2 Fire-type moves. That is really good tech to see. So you probably are going to, unfortunately, KO Groudon. But we will... What? I need to be able to KO... what is it called? The Tornadus with this Flare Blitz, because then we have Rillaboom in a really strong position because of the fact that we just completely pressure their Urshifu. But even still, like, what are they really gonna do with an Urshifu? Oh yeah, that's super close. Yeah, because now we play mind games, right? We do bring out Rillaboom. What we saw Tailwind Protect, or Tailwind Rain Dance. I don't think we've seen Protect. This doesn't really matter. I do expect to see a Protect from Urshifu Water. Very good read. Very good read. Because you close combat into Rillaboom. Rillaboom does hang on. Did we go for a Snarl? We went for a Parting Shot. Yeah, that was bad. That was a very good read. I knew I should have gone for Snarl. We do that, and we... I'm going to Snarl, and I'm going to go for a Grassy Glide. Yeah, that was a bad read. I think the end was a throw. In all honesty, I think... Yeah, that was a huge throw on my part. Because there were just a lot... There were way better ways to play this, and I think the Protect on... The Protect with Tornadus was such a good call. And it really benefited them, right? Because of the fact that they were able to recover so much, and now I, unfortunately, I'm gonna take the L on this one. But I think still we were able to set up Groudon really effectively, and my opponent just had really good tech, right? The Rain Dance was huge, which I didn't expect. The calling the Protect on Tornadus, where if I should have just played aggressively. There really wasn't a reason for me not to, especially given the fact that I was Assault Vest right there. I should have just pressured into that slot, but I still think it's a very good team, and yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, game number 2, and it is Santino's team. So, how do we play the mirror match, right? Because there's a lot of scary things to be worried about. So it is Weavile, Rillaboom, Serena, Kyogre, or Shifu Water, as well as a Eternatus. Regieleki is huge. Rillaboom, Drifblim. Drifblim doubles its speed, right? Unburden boost the speed. I'm pretty sure it doubles. 290, we guaranteed beat that. So actually, Reggie, these two. I think this is my best bet. This is hard. Santino's team is very, very difficult. Like for good reason. And I mean, this team is what we have to. I think this is different. This is the same 6, but I don't think it's exactly Santino's team. Maybe it's like one of those people that just makes everything shiny, and then there could be different spreads, which is I don't think that's the order. As let's find out from this lead. Yeah, okay, so it is someone that wanted to just go for the all shiny Santino team. We have the advantage that okay, so we know Kyogre has Ice Beam. And we also know that we have Wood Hammer. So what we can do is we can just Wood Hammer into Kyogre, and we can go for a Tailwind, right? Because of the fact that we are saying, hey, if you switch out into Serena, you're not setting up Tailwind, or you're switching out Kyogre and it's going to take a ton of damage anyway, and then we both have Tailwind up. Because I do need to preserve Rillaboom, but I also need to obviously put on pressure onto this Kyogre. So we are going to see Kyogre withdraw. I think that is to be expected for, yep, we are going to see Serena come out, which is totally fine with me. You expected the Groudon switch, but I am going to play a little bit cheeky. We're going to get this up, and now we get a Wood Hammer off into Serena for decent chip. We have decent speed investment, so I'm actually fine doubling up into Serena, knowing that it has Taunt. So we can do a U-turn as well as a Will-O-Wisp, because if we can cripple the Serena. Interesting. We're seeing no air slash. I mean, not no air slash. No no attack. So I mean, not no attack. No priority Tailwind. So my opponent is really, I guess they're trying to get rid of Drifblim, which makes sense. We don't have Protect, so we do have to be a little bit scared. But at this point, we do have Regieleki, and now we have guaranteed priority into Kyogre because of the fact that we were able to eliminate Serena so early. As we do see the Hurricane come out into Aleki, I think that's fine. We do have Aleki under Tailwind, which means that we should be faster. Even if my opponent goes for a Kyogre switch this turn, we have Tailwind, so nothing to really worry about there, as unfortunately they are going to disconnect. I think we did have that, just given, like I said, we did get rid of Serena very quickly, so we did pressure Kyogre with Rillaboom, and then whatever they had in the back, we had a way to deal with, right? If it was Rillaboom, we do have the ability to burn it with Drifblim, same with Weavile, because we will be faster. We do have Groudon, obviously, to change the weather and deal with those two. So all in all, I do feel very comfortable that I think we did have that in the bag. Unfortunate, we'll never see the end, but yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, game number 3, and It is a Zacian team. It is Zacian, Milotic, Incineroar, Rillaboom with Regieleki and Urshifu. So I mean, I'm really liking Rillaboom with Drifblim. Just the ability to get guaranteed Tailwind because there is no speed pressure. The fact that we can burn very big threats. And yeah, I think it's just such a solid option overall. Groudon, I think it is going to be great here. And then what is the last one, right? We're not worried about Rillaboom, or we potentially are worried about Incin. Our Incin is nice for Zacian. Nihilego doesn't really do much. Regieleki also doesn't really do much. Let's bring Incin. We are putting ourselves a little bit vulnerable to Milotic, but we do obviously have the Sun, and we don't have to worry about any sort of speed control from my opponent's side. So hopefully that can work in our favor. And obviously with the quick game for Santino's team, I will probably record one after this. So we will see Rillaboom Aleki. So this is really great for us because of the fact that we will get the speed boost onto our, what is it called? Onto our Drifblim. We should hopefully be faster than the Rillaboom because of the fact that we do actually have a decent amount of investment. So what we can do is, there's no way we outspeed Aleki. Yeah. 226, we hit Calyrex. So we have a very easy fake out here, as well as a Tailwind from the Drifblim. I just want to guarantee that, okay, that's fine, protect, no big deal. We can get up our, oh! No. Interesting, probably a knockoff onto Drifblim. We will see a U-turn come out, which is fine with me because we get to see what my opponent has in the back, and now we can really start pressuring damage with priority Grassy Glides onto the Aleki, as well as a Will-O-Wisp onto Zacian. So this is fine. The fear is Zacian protects, and Aleki goes for an Electroweb, but let's just go for this as well as a Will-O-Wisp here, because now we are in a pretty commanding position. We do have Groudon in the back, obviously, if need be, and if we pick up a KO, or if we pick up a knockout, it's a very free switch into Groudon, which has the ability to sub up freely. We did see Rillaboom, so Groudon can clean up fairly easily, as we will see no protect. We do get an almost knockout onto Aleki, as we do connect with this big Will-O-Wisp. So now we are in a very comfortable spot. Volt Switch will come out into Drifblim. Drifblim unfortunately will go down, but we did burn the Zacian, which in all honesty is really great. And now we do have a very free switch, most likely into Groudon, depending on what my opponent brings out. As we will see Rillaboom again, which is fine with me. At this point, we do have a Sacred Sword coming into Rillaboom, and that means what we can do is we can very easily... We can bring out Incin. No, I want Groudon. I like Groudon over Rillaboom. I mean, yeah, I like Groudon in this slot because of the fact that we can swap into Incin and stagger our Fake Out. We do have to be a little bit conservative of Tailwind turns. How many turns? We have 2 turns left. I want to make the switch out nice HP here, and I'm going to pressure for the substitute. I think just given the fact that we do have grassy terrain recovery, it's fine if, what is it called? It's fine if they, oh, I do have to worry about Grassy Glide, which is a little bit scary. We are going to most likely see a Wood Hammer come out, I'm guessing. So probably a double up into Zacian. I mean, not into Zacian, into Groudon. But we have seen that Behemoth Blade might not be able to break the sub, depending on how bulky their Zacian is. As yeah, we will. Oh, even better. They go for a U-turn. So now we have Groudon behind a substitute where we can very freely go for a Precipice Blade. We threaten Fake Out with our Incineroar, and overall we're in a really good spot. Especially just given the fact that Grassy Terrain isn't going to be lasting too much longer. So it's going to get to the point where if your Rillaboom isn't in correctly, like, you are kind of in a bad spot. So Regieleki comes out. Regieleki obviously does not pressure into Groudon, so we just go for a Fake Out as well as Precipice Blade. Because that, yeah, Precipice Blade will pick up a knockout onto something. We do have to worry about a double protect, but even then, they do have to break my substitute with only Zacian. So we just go for this as well as a very free sort of Precipice Blade. And let's see. Protect, I think that's fine. I don't care about Aleki. It's not going to do anything, probably. Yep, we are going to see a double protect come out, which is totally fine with me. I probably should have switched out into Rillaboom, but it is what it is. Like, their Zacian is pretty low at this point. Right, what are things? I think we can what is it called? Parting Shot out from their Zacian into our Rillaboom. Yeah, we do that because Aleki doesn't scare me. We are going to see the Volt Switch come out, so that's fine. It's most likely going to be Rillaboom. So which is okay, because if we can pivot out Incin correctly, we do see their Incin. So this is huge. If we connect Precipice Blades on both, we will pick up a double KO. And if we can get the double KO with Zacian, I mean not with Zacian, with Groudon, sorry, we should have this game in a bag, like wrapped up in the bag. So relying on Precipice Blades, we are gonna double connect. This should be a double knockout. Yep, boom, we got the double knockout. Unfortunately, we are gonna have to pivot out from Incin into Rillaboom. Yeah, we can pivot out our Incin into Rillaboom to guarantee that we get Fake Out onto their Rilla the subsequent turn to avoid any sort of Fake Out shenanigans, and then from there we have it pretty clearly wrapped up, right? Because of the fact that you're not going to beat a Groudon with Regieleki, especially given the fact that we've seen Protect, so you very rarely have we've seen Protect and we've seen Volt Switch, so we don't even really have to worry about anything coming out there. I think we do want to just play it safe and not try and throw. So switching out, I think, into Rillaboom to get the Fake Out pressure is what's really going to help. So we bring you out, and then we, from here, just go for a Protect. Because like I said, we don't want to risk getting like hit by a Grassy Glide or a Wood Hammer when we can avoid that as much as possible. And even if we lose our Rillaboom, we do bring out Incin pretty freely. So yeah, have to worry about that Grassy Glide. Don't really have to worry about a Thunderbolt from the Regieleki. As we see, it's going to do practically nothing onto our Rillaboom. So now we have a free Fake Out as well as a Heat Crash onto the Rillaboom, and we can kind of cycle through this, where now what we do is we click this to play it safe, as well as a Heat Crash here, and then we can, if need be, go for Protect, cycle into Incineroar, and make it so we come out that way to avoid the Grassy Glide. Thunderbolt will come out into our Rillaboom, not even picking up the KO. They do get the Paralysis, definitely a little bit unfortunate because it does potentially risk our Fake Outs not connecting, but we will pick up the hit there, and now we are free just to go for a Grassy Glide onto this Regieleki, and then that should wrap it up for this game. So yeah, I mean, like, Groudon really putting in some work. I think the first game, like I said, was me making a bad play when I should have, if I had just made the read of going into their Urshifu instead of worrying about their Tornadus, because their Tornadus wasn't going to do anything. I think that would have we would have come out on top, but let's just not risk the accuracy. But yeah, I think that's good for now. This is towards the length of a normal video. So like I said, this has been a really cool team. We will use it for at least the next video, depending on how things go, maybe the one after that as well. But yeah, super cool video. Highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.